Still taking from what I just talked about. Still taking from what I talked about. It is the spirit behind you. Some of us use terminology. You have your song angel. The song angel will come and visit you. We kind of use that term here in the state, especially in Cleveland. When the song angel touches you, it kind of, wherever you are, the Spirit of the Lord moves upon you, and the sweet song of Zion can come upon you. And that's really, again, it's that same spirit. We want to just be mindful the way that we put our songs together and the way that we are composing. You have to allow the Spirit of the Lord to come upon you. It's really not good, and then people can tell. And I've been a victim of it as well. Someone can tell when you're kind of forcing something, even when you're composing and also arranging. If it's meant to be, God will show you and direct you and put you in the direction of how He wants this song to be composed, how it should be forward, how it should be presented. It's all about waiting to hear from the Lord, and when the Lord speaks to you, that's when it will come to you, no matter where you are. I had a conversation with the Assistant General Safisu, and he was talking to me, and we were talking about my grandfather, the late great John Millerton, General Superintendent of the Singers, and he was one of the church's greatest musicians and also composers that the church will ever know. And it's always said that he's considered to be ahead of his time. And the reason why that was because what he was producing and what he was presenting to the church and to the singers, it was a little bit different. It didn't follow that regular structure that they've been singing for the past 10, 15, 20 years. So when he came on the scene, the Spirit of God moved upon him in a way that it says, listen, it's time for my people to hear this. This is where the direction that I need my singers, or I want the people of God to go. They have to be introduced to it. So a lot of what we do now, it plays off of a lot of what the pillars of old have set before us. So the song entitled Time Goes By. Time Goes By was composed by Brother John. And when time goes by, he was at work. My grandfather was a worker in the steel mill. And while he was at work, he heard the machines behind him at work, and all he heard was the doom, 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 and from there he got time goes by, time goes by. Now somebody could say, "Hey, baby, he was ready to get off work," but it don't matter. Time goes by, time goes by. Hey, can't you see how the time goes by, and all that melody came from do, 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 do. No matter what. Again, that is the spirit that works behind it. So my first and foremost fact to anyone, and we all have that gift. And another thing about Brother John's songs were considered to be message songs. They still follow the same message that is taught in the Church of God and Saints of Christ. But a lot of our songs, and it makes us unique. And the spirit behind our music is that a lot of our, especially original compositions, come directly from the Word of God. And because of that, we are able to minister and preach through song because they come directly from His mouth, from the Word of God. And a lot of songs that Brother John, if you sit back and if you think about it, his songs, Time Goes By, his songs, If You Are Wondering, his songs that There's Power in the Word. These are songs that are message songs. They tell a story. They give a message about the church. My whole life is in this way. My soul and body in the holy place. You know, he's giving the message of what the church is, but in a different format. And it's almost like, because I am an educator, everyone doesn't learn the same way. Some people are visual learners. Some people are audio learners. And because of that, the message that gets across, you can't always give the message the same way. You have to find different ways to be able to connect to those who are listening. And once you make that connection, that's what works. And because I strongly believe by faith, and I feel as though that God, when he was speaking to my grandfather, he had to let him know, listen, my word, my message needs to get across in another format. And he still kept the teachings of the church in his songs. He still kept the doctrine in his songs. He still kept the word of God in his songs, but the presentation of it was, instead of me, even when we preach, some of us, we do a lot of paraphrasing when we preach. We understand, we'll take the text and read the text specifically from the word of God, but we understand that when it's time to deliver, when it's time to elaborate, we have to make sure that we paraphrase. We have to tell the story. We have to make sure that it's understood where and what, when, and how is going on. The same way with music. We have to be able to tell the story. So allow the story to come to you. Allow the Spirit of God to move on you. And once that happens, I promise you that the Lord will bless you with that song angel. And that song angel will lead you. And please do not compare yourself and your music and what God has blessed you to anybody else. Don't compare the song. If the song angel comes and visits you and he brings you a song that has 3 words, then you let those 3 words be it. Don't try to compare something to somebody else. And that's really sometimes when we fall short. You know, when God gives us our gifts, we look at those who have many, instead of you focusing on the one that you have, to make that better, to make that be who you are. So my advice to you is don't compare yourself to anyone else, because you can't do it. His praise, Brother John's praise, is not Brother Robert Grant's praise. And Brother Robert Grant's praise is not going to be your praise. And the way that God speaks to me may not be the same way that he speaks to you, but he speaks to all of us in our own right. So just because he comes to me with something else, don't get upset, don't get mad, and don't get discouraged, but be encouraged, because God has given you something. So do it to the best of your ability. And I promise you, I promise you that once that feeling comes to you, and you have expressed and you have shared with those what God has taught you, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm going to end off with this note. One of my favorite songs, and it's written by the late, great Assistant Chief Chorister, St. Thierme Matt. We usually only sing it during communion. We usually only sing this song during communion. However, the message behind it is so powerful. Teach them what I have taught you. And not only teach them what I have taught you. And we say that song, and I think about it, and I just think about probably as far as the analysis portion of me as a musician, sometimes you put yourself and try to put yourself in the position of where that person was, with that mindset of that composer, what was going on around them, what was happening that allowed them to get this song, or that inspired them. And simply teach them what I have taught you. And lo, I'll be with you always until the end. So no matter what you're going through, just continue to teach what God has given you. No matter any ups and no matter any downs that happens, just continue to teach them what I have taught you. That is very, we repeat those lines multiple times, because that is a testament in itself. Don't worry about what's happening on the right or to the left. Just continue to teach what I have taught you. And you don't have to worry about being by yourself, because you're never alone, because I will always be with you, even until the end. So that's just be encouraged. No matter what is going on, no matter what is happening, just continue to hear and listen to the voice of God. And you will be better off when we're singing, whatever it is that we're doing, every facet of the church. And I know this is for the singers, but I need the singers to understand, because there's more to it than just singing. And people saying you can sing a lie as well as tell a lie. So you got to make sure that you are about a good work always. Again, I would like to say thank you to first off the coordinators of this event, District St. Angie. I know her and I, she worked very diligently. I love you. God bless you, Assistant Chief, Assistant General Chorister. My apologies, Brother Sophistu. He and I have spoken, and it's always a pleasure to see all of my many brothers and sisters, both far and near. I know that we are embarking on our season of deliverance. So I just want to encourage all the saints, wherever you are, to keep on keeping on. And I thank you for this time.